Welcome to the Online Digital Marketing Podcast. We'll be discussing marketing strategies, trends, and tips that will help your business succeed in the digital age. Every episode, we'll be interviewing industry professionals and providing valuable insights on how to leverage digital tools for maximum engagement and ROI. Don't forget to subscribe so you can stay up to date on the latest trends in online marketing.
Okay, let's get this deep dive started. We've got quite a stack of material here, all about AI, inbound voice agents.
Mm-hmm.
Really fascinating stuff you shared with us, looking at how these systems are, really shaking things up in customer service and business operations.
They really are.
So our mission today, to really unpack these sources, pull out the most important nuggets and give you that clear understanding.
Like a shortcut.
Exactly. A shortcut to being well-informed on what these AI agents are, what they do, and maybe the bigger picture, their strategic impact.
Yeah, that strategic piece feels key.
It is. And it's a rich collection of sources you've sent over. They go beyond just the obvious benefits like, efficiency or speed.
Right.
They really dig into this other layer, which is maybe even more transformative. The deep intelligence, the insights these agents can pull from from every single customer conversation.
Wow.
It changes the whole game, potentially. Totally. So let's start at the beginning then. What exactly are these AI inbound voice agents based on the material? And what's the big picture view?
Okay, so at their core, they are AI-powered systems. Pretty straightforward. Built to handle incoming customer calls.
Got it.
But just calling them call handlers really misses the mark. The sources they show these systems are fundamentally reshaping how businesses interact with customers.
And how they operate too, right? Internally.
Exactly. Internally as well. They offer benefits pretty much across the board. You're seeing impacts on customer experience, smoother operations, the financial bottom line, and even, like we mentioned, providing this powerful new source for strategic thinking.
All right, let's zoom in on those areas then. Turbocharging the customer experience, that feels like the most immediate thing you'd notice as a customer, right?
Absolutely. That's where you feel it first.
How do these AI agents actually pull that off?
Well, the first and maybe the most obvious win is just getting rid of those awful wait times. That music.
Oh, yeah. Soul crushing is a good word for it.
Right. So you connect instantly. But it's not just about speed. It's also about consistent, high-quality service every single time.
And available whenever.
Exactly, 24/7.
Uh-huh.
And unlike a human agent who's, focused on one call, these systems can handle a huge volume of queries at the same time.
Without dropping the ball.
Without dropping the ball on any of them. And the timing for this is good, actually. One source points out people are already pretty comfortable with voice tech.
Like Alexa or Siri.
Yeah, things like that. It said 90% familiarity with voice assistants, 72% are using them regularly, and younger people. Right. They often prefer voice for routine stuff.
So the AI is kind of leaning into that existing comfort, but adding scale and always on availability.
Precisely.
But does it still feel like, talking to a machine? A bit clunky.
Well, that's where the AI part really tries to shine. The goal, at least as the sources describe it, is to make the conversations feel natural. Or, more natural. They build in human-like elements. Little pauses. The ability to handle it if you interrupt or go off on a quick tangent.
Ah, okay. Less rigid.
Yeah, less rigid. But what's really powerful for the customer experience is the personalization.
How personalized can it be?
Very. Because they can instantly pull up your history, track patterns from past interactions while you're talking. They can tailor the response right then and there.
Okay, that's smart.
They use sophisticated natural language processing, NLP, to get not just the words, but the nuance, the context, even the emotional tone in your voice.
They can pick up on emotion.
Apparently, yes. Which allows them to respond with, appropriate empathy, offering a bit of reassurance alongside the actual solution.
Responding with empathy, understanding nuance.
Okay,
that does shift them way beyond just a basic phone menu, right? So that's the customer side. How do they help the business itself operationally?
Okay, operations. This is where the automation really comes into its own. These AI agents, they're designed to handle a massive chunk of the routine stuff. Checking account balances, tracking orders, scheduling appointments, answering those basic FAQs. the kind of repetitive questions that take up so much time.
Yeah, the high volume, low complexity stuff.
Exactly. And this automation isn't just about getting the task done. It's about freeing up the human agents.
Ah, so the humans can handle the harder problems.
Precisely. It lets the humans focus their unique skills, critical thinking, complex problem solving, real emotional intelligence on the trickier issues that actually need a person.
That makes sense.
And the sources highlight pretty significant efficiency gains. Some systems are handling up to like 60% of inquiries completely on their own.
60% end-to-end.
End-to-end,
Yeah.
independently. That creates a much more balanced and, frankly, more effective operation overall.
And I guess efficiency usually leads to saving money. What's the financial angle here?
The financial upside is definitely significant, according to the sources. By automating such a large slice of interactions, businesses can potentially handle way more calls or maintain service levels, but with a, let's say, more optimized human workforce.
So potentially fewer agents needed for the same volume.
Potentially, yes. Or redeployed agents. One source specifically mentioned operational cost reductions of up to 60%.
Wow, another 60% figure.
Yeah, and think beyond salaries. It's handling more calls per hour, reducing training needs for basic stuff. Plus, the AI's consistency helps minimize errors.
Right, mistakes cost money.
They do. Fewer errors means fewer costly follow-up calls or, trying to fix a problem caused by miscommunication. Service recovery costs add up.
Fewer errors, lower costs.
Yeah.
Yeah, seems like a clear win on the financial side. But how smart are they about knowing which calls they should take versus, passing it to a human?
That's the smart handling piece. These agents use intelligent prioritization. It's not random.
How does that work?
Based on rules the business sets up, or maybe factors like the caller's profile. Are they a VIP customer? Or how complex or urgent the issue sounds. The AI can quickly route the call. And it's tailored routing, not just basic. It makes sure that high-value customers or calls needing real human reasoning or empathy.
Get to the right person.
Get to the right human agent fast. While the AI efficiently handles all the rest, it cuts down on those frustrating misdirected calls and keeps wait times low overall by managing the flow intelligently.
Okay, that makes sense. What happens if a business has those big seasonal spikes, like holidays? Or if they're just growing really fast, can these systems cope?
Scalability. That's a huge point highlighted in the sources.
Yeah.
These AI agents offer, exceptional scalability.
Better than hiring temps.
Way easier than hiring and training loads of temporary staff or building out massive call center infrastructure. If there's a sudden surge in calls, maybe it's the peak holiday season, maybe an unexpected event.
Yeah.
The AI system can scale up almost instantly. It just handles the extra load while keeping the service quality consistent. Pretty much instantly. So for businesses with that kind of variable demand or just big growth plans, this ability to scale up and down so effortlessly is incredibly valuable. It really complements that 2 lunch and 4/7 availability we talked about.
Tim, what about reaching a wider audience? Maybe across different languages?
Yeah.
Or for people with different accessibility needs?
That's another really crucial benefit the sources cover. Bridging language barriers and improving accessibility.
How so?
Modern AI agents have pretty extensive multilingual capabilities. We're talking supporting dozens of languages.
Wow.
Which allows businesses to communicate effectively with really diverse customer groups, global markets. And it's not just basic translation. It includes real-time translation, but also adapting to regional dialects, understanding cultural nuances that affect how people communicate, even how they express sentiment.
That's sophisticated.
It is. And on the accessibility front, offering a robust, reliable voice interface is just a massive help for customers who might struggle with websites or apps because of disabilities. It makes service much more inclusive.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of the, let's say, tangible benefits. Better customer experience, big operational and financial pluses, smarter call management, easy scaling, reaching more people. That's already a pretty compelling list.
It is.
But you mentioned something earlier that feels bigger, more strategic. These agents acting as data gold mines, giving deep business intelligence. How does that work?
Right. This is where, according to the sources, the transformation gets really powerful. Beyond just handling the call itself, these agents are designed to systematically capture, analyze, and actually learn from every single conversation.
So it's not just logging issue resolve.
No, much deeper. It's extracting insights from the dialogue itself. What was said, how it was said, This constant stream of data helps businesses do things they really couldn't easily do before.
Like what, for example?
Like quickly identifying recurring problems customers are hitting, detecting emerging trends or pain points much faster than usual.
Or spotting patterns early.
Exactly. And pinpointing specific opportunities to improve products, services, or even internal processes. It basically turns customer interactions into this rich, real-time feedback loop for strategic decisions across the whole company.
That sounds incredible, almost too good to be true. Can you walk us through how they actually pull those insights out? That second source really seemed to get into the weeds on the how.
Absolutely. It starts with advanced conversational analysis. That's powered by NLP, natural language processing.
Okay.
This is the AI's ability to interpret speech in real time, understanding not just words, but how they relate, the context, the underlying meaning.
So reading between the lines, almost.
In a way, yes. This enables things like sophisticated intent recognition, figuring out why the customer called, even if they don't state it super clearly.
Even if they're indirect.
Even if they're indirect. It allows for contextual understanding, remembering what was said earlier in the call, so it doesn't keep asking the same things.
That's helpful.
And semantic pattern detection. Spotting frequently used terms or phrases across many calls that might signal a new issue or need emerging. Machine learning is crucial here, constantly adapting to dialects, jargon, new ways people talk.
Okay, so they understand the why and the context. But what about, you mentioned emotion earlier. How do they pick up on how the customer actually feels?
Right. Sentiment analysis. And it's pretty complex stuff. Based on the sources, they use multi-layered techniques.
Like?
One is vocal feature analysis, basically dissecting the audio itself. They look at dozens, maybe over 100, subtle acoustic signals.
Acoustic signals?
Yeah, things like tiny changes in pitch, how fast someone's talking, volume shifts, pauses, even those little micro hesitations.
Like biomarkers for emotion.
Exactly, like vocal biomarkers for emotion. They combine this with text-based tracking after the speech is turned into text, analyzing word choice, looking at modifier.
Like very upset versus a bit annoyed.
Precisely. And using techniques like semantic role labeling. That helps the AI figure out who is feeling the emotion and what they're feeling it about.
Yeah.
Like, I am frustrated with the billing system.
Attributing the feeling to the cause.
Yes. And combining these vocal cues with the text analysis, one source reported accuracy rates as high as 89% in detecting emotions.
89% accuracy on detecting emotion just from speech. That's a huge leap in understanding.
It really is. They also excel at topic extraction and trend identification.
Okay.
The AI automatically categorizes what the calls are actually about, using something called real-time concept mapping.
Sounds technical.
It is, but the idea is it identifies key phrases within one call, clusters related ideas together, and creates this kind of dynamic map of what was discussed and what was important.
For each call.
For each call. Then when you aggregate that across thousands of calls, you get longitudinal trend analysis, using techniques to surface emerging issues way faster.
Faster than what? Surveys. Social media monitoring.
Yeah, faster than traditional methods. One source mentioned this approach could identify product flaws or widespread customer complaints maybe 2 or 3 weeks faster.
Identifying problems weeks faster. I mean, that gives a business a massive head start on fixing things or adapting.
Absolutely. It's a total game changer for how responsive a company can be. And another clever thing is embedding customer experience metrics collection.
You mean like CSAT scores?
Exactly. CSAT, NPS, customer effort score.
Okay.
But collecting them during the conversation, naturally.
Not just a survey afterwards.
Right. Instead of waiting for that post-call email survey that, let's be honest, not everyone fills out.
Sure.
The AI can ask a quick, natural question within the flow, like, so just to check, did I resolve that fully for you today? Or based on our chat, how likely might you be to recommend us?
And people actually answer that.
Apparently, yes. Much higher response rates. One source saw 73% higher response rates compared to email surveys.
Wow.
And they also do behavioral correlation analysis, connecting those scores back to the actual call details.
Like what?
Like seeing, for instance, that average satisfaction scores were 22% lower when calls went over 8 minutes long.
So they're not just getting the score, they're finding out why the score might be low, linking it directly to the call experience.
Precisely. Really actionable stuff. And for those global businesses, there's multilingual insight capture.
Going beyond just talking in different languages.
Yes, overcoming the language barrier in the analysis phase, too. They use real-time translation architectures, speech to text in the native language, then neural machine translation for the analysis part.
Okay.
They even try to account for culture-specific sentiment calibration, Understanding that, criticism might be expressed more indirectly in some cultures than others.
More subtle.
Very. And adapting to regional dialects, constantly updating models to get colloquialisms right. The goal is consistent insight generation across maybe dozens of languages, capturing that global voice of the customer.
Analyzing sentiment across cultures and dialects. That sounds incredibly complex. What about tracking how one person's feelings change during a single call?
Yeah, they can do that too. It's called emotional journey mapping.
Emotional journey mapping. Oh.
For each interaction, the AI basically constructs an emotional timeline. It establishes the customer's baseline feeling at the start, identifies moments, inflection points where their sentiment shifts, maybe they get frustrated, then maybe relieved, and it tracks the impact of the resolution. Did they recover emotionally?
And what does that tell you?
It reveals some powerful insights. Like one source found 68% of customer frustration came from just having to repeat information over and over.
Oof. Yeah, that's annoying.
Right. Or that achieving effective emotional recovery during a service call actually increased customer retention by 43%.
Wow. 43% higher retention just by handling the emotional side well. That level of detail gives a completely new lens on customer interactions, doesn't it? It's way beyond just fixing the technical problem.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
And all this incredibly granular data, it feeds into predictive analytics integration.
Okay, so using the past to predict the future.
Essentially, yes. The insights gathered aren't just historical snapshots. They become inputs for forecasting models.
Predicting what?
It's things like anticipating future customer needs. Maybe predicting which customers are likely to churn based on patterns in their support calls, suggesting products they might be interested in based on problems they've discussed. Even forecasting overall service demand based on those emerging trends we talked about.
So it informs business decisions.
Directly. It informs operational optimization too, helping businesses staff agents more effectively, figure out what needs updating in the knowledge base based on where the AI failed.
Right.
Or even influencing product development roadmaps based on clusters of complaints. It creates this really powerful closed-loop system. Conversations directly inform future strategy and operations.
So every single call isn't just, a one-off transaction. It's like a valuable data point for predicting what's next and constantly improving the whole business.
Exactly. And the systems themselves, they have continuous feedback loops built in. They aren't static.
Yeah.
They learn.
Yeah.
They use mechanisms like confirming understanding with the customer. Okay, just to confirm, you need help with X, is that right?
Little checks.
Little checks.
Yeah.
Performing gap analysis to flag issues that weren't resolved or questions the AI just couldn't handle, and constantly retraining their underlying models, maybe even weekly.
Weekly retraining.
Yeah, to maintain high accuracy. One source mentioned 93% accuracy, even as customer behavior and language naturally evolve over time.
Okay, so bringing all of that together, it really sounds like these AI inbound voice agents, they offer this immediate, personalized, consistent service.
Yep.
They drive massive operational efficiency, cost savings. They manage calls intelligently, scale up and down effortlessly, break down language barriers, improve accessibility.
A long list.
A very long list. But maybe the most transformative insight, the real picker, is how they turn every single customer conversation into this incredibly detailed, actionable business intelligence.
That's the core of it, I think.
Intelligence that can proactively reshape products, operations, the entire business strategy, really.
They really are far more than just automated call handlers. They represent a fundamental shift in how businesses can not only interact with, but deeply learn from their customers.
Yeah.
At scale.
Yeah.
Transforming every interaction into this continuous stream of strategic insight.
So, okay, here's a final thought for you, the listener, to kind of chew on based on everything we've just unpacked here. Given this incredible depth of detail and insight these systems can pull from what used to be just simple phone calls, tracking subtle emotions minute by minute, spotting widespread trends weeks faster than before, even predicting future customer needs. How does this change our fundamental understanding of what customer service even is anymore?
That's a great question.
Is it less about just reactively handling issues one by one, and maybe more about leveraging every single interaction as this dynamic data point to proactively build a better business, to anticipate customer needs maybe before they even fully realize them themselves? What stands out most to you from all this?
Ready to take your online business to the next level? Subscribe to our digital marketing podcast and then join our Accountability for Success Mastermind. With expert advice from industry leaders, you'll gain knowledge and insights that will help you succeed in today's digital marketing world. From social media strategies to search engine optimization, we have all the tools you need. Learn from successful entrepreneurs and take control of your online success. Join the Accountability for Success Mastermind now at bit.ly/AFSM podcast.